think I'm recording. Hello, everybody. This is TTR Presents, and it's Make the Call with Stella Lynn Boggio. And I'm actually Jennifer Johnson with TTR Networking. And Stella, I asked Stella to do this, and she has definitely risen to the occasion. We had to reschedule it once. And it just gave us more time to promote it. So I am very excited that you're here. And I am going to turn it over to Stella Lynn Boggio with the director of School of Metaphysics. She's going to fill you in on all this stuff, right?
Yes.
All right, take it away.
All right. Thanks everyone for being here this evening.
Yes.
And I'm Stella Lynn Boggio. I am a student, always a student first, teacher and director of the School of Metaphysics here in Indianapolis. And now I'm like all of you to come with me on a journey. It's a call I made 22 years ago that changed the trajectory of my life. Come on, Brian, answer the phone. I've got to be at work in five. I've got to be at work in 5 minutes. He always does this. It's Friday, he gets paid. I don't know what I'm going to do. He's a nice guy. He's from a good family. He just struggles with a drug problem. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've tried everything. He tells me he needs help and he can't handle money, and I want to help him. I want him to be sober and be the brilliant gentleman that I fell in love with. But he just has this one problem, and I'm up to my neck. So someone gave me a number when we went to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. They gave me a number to Al-Anon, which is a 12-step program that helps people who've been affected by others' addictions. I'm going to give them a call. Yes, is this Al-Anon? Oh, right. I'm having a really bad day. I I go to school full time. I'm late for work. My boyfriend, yeah, he has a drug problem. He drinks too, but it's mostly drugs. Really, really frustrated and embarrassed about this. Okay, you're saying that he needs to have the spiritual in order to change. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything I can do? Can I say something? Can I do something? Can I make him he's just got to see the light. I don't know why he just can't just have a beer or two like normal people. Why does he have to act like this? Okay. So you're saying the only person that I can change is myself. Yeah, I'm willing to do anything at this point. Monday night. Yes, I'm free Monday night. There's a meeting at Good Shepherd Church. Okay, yes, that's not too far from where I work. A beginner's meeting. Great. I will be there. 7:30? Perfect. Thank you so much. That call was over 10 years ago. Now come with me as I make another call. Actually, yeah, 10 years later. That also changed the trajectory of my life. School of Metaphysics. You know, this sounds really interesting. You know, I've been on this spiritual journey for the last several years. Still with my boyfriend Brian, and things have gotten better, even though he still struggles with his drugs. He is going back to school himself and he's working, but things are better, but I still feel like I'm missing some things. I do desire to move on from the relationship, but I can't seem to really break free. Now, my coworker has been telling me about this place called the School of Metaphysics. We talk all the time at my restaurant where we work about spiritual issues and different teachers we've been studying, and they think we're kind of weird, my coworkers, but they seem to humor us. They just kind of let us be. And he brought this pamphlet in to me. I don't know. It talks about strengthening your will, how to cause a still mind, how to meditate, interpret your dreams. I've been telling him I'm going to give a call. He's been begging me to take this class. I think I'm going to give them a call. Hi, is this the School of Metaphysics? Yes, my name is Stella Lynn. I'm friends with Trock. He takes classes there? Yes, we both work at PF Chang's. Yeah, he's telling me about this class. I don't know, he talks about meditation and he says you guys study dreams, and I've been involved with 12-step programs for the last 10 years and I've made a lot of changes, but I'm curious. Trock and I have been talking a little bit more about spiritual issues. I'm interested in dreams and more about meditation and what that means. Okay. Yeah, I'm free on Monday. Yeah, you have a new class. Great. Well, I can come by at 7 o'clock. Oh, you want me to come by at 6 so you can review what I missed. Great, great. And you can merge me into that class. Wonderful. So is it every day or, I mean, week by week, or how does this class go? Okay, you'll tell me more about it. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting you. What's your name? Jonathan. Jonathan Durbeck. Nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday. So that was over 12 years ago. That's when I started my studies at the School of Metaphysics in Cincinnati, Ohio. And then subsequently, I ended up coming to Indianapolis, Indiana, when some of our teachers moved on in the school, and I started teaching here and now directing. And now I moved to Indianapolis. When I created this talk, I was going to give this talk to a group of teachers and directors at the School of Metaphysics at a meeting that met the 1st of January. It's called a General Assembly meeting. In our school, every year, the teachers and directors and area directors, who are also teachers, come together to plan for the year and work on the vision for the year. And I had a dream around this time I would like to share with all of you. In the studies at the School of Metaphysics, dreams are a foundation of what we teach. And the reason dreams are foundational because, well, first of all, everybody dreams every night. Not everybody remembers their dreams. The reason we don't remember our dreams is because a lot of us are busy throughout the day. We're rushing around and we just don't have our attention so much inwardly. A lot of times we fall asleep exhausted at night and then we wake up and the night seemed to go by. But keeping a dream journal, which I've been doing since I started studying at the School of Metaphysics, has been very helpful. And around the time that I was about to go to this meeting, General Assembly, I had a dream. And tonight, with all of you, I'd like to share this dream, and I'd like to go over some symbols and what the dream means. How I've learned to interpret dreams, it's called the universal language of mind, which is in symbols. So all of us have, or we can have, different physical languages, cultures, nationalities, but dreams appear to us universally. That's why they call it universal. And dreams are messages from our subconscious mind, which is our inner self. where we go when we sleep. So I will share this dream and I'm going to share a few of what the symbols mean. And interpreting dreams usually gives us a glimpse of what we've done the day or two before in our life. And this particular dream I tied to what a conversation I was having before I went to that big meeting. So I'll read this dream with you and share with all of you, and then I'm going to share a little bit of the symbols I'm going to hand out. I was in a place that I didn't recognize. It was an apartment building. My mom was there. There were two men that were there as well. One said something to the other he did not like, the other man. The one man punched the other man. The man who started the fight left. Later, that man came back and apologized. Then the scene changed. There was a man and two ladies who wanted me to take medicine. I said I went to the school of medics and practice concentration exercises. I did not want or need medicine. They left. My mom was there. I said they were trying to make me, to my mom, I said they were trying to make me and her take medicine that we didn't want to take. I told her to be careful when she talked to them. She said she would. My mom also told Mrs. Kugel about the men. So just gonna kind of a fairly short dream, but I'm just going to share some of what symbols, how I took the meaning of this dream and how I tied it to my day before. And I am going to pull this up. Just bear with me here. Okay. Stella Lynn's dream. The apartment building would be an unfamiliar place in mind where many minds meet, because there's many people usually living at an apartment building. A mom in a dream, she's a parent. It's a parent. Any type of authority figure in a dream, a manager or teacher, represents our superconscious, which is our higher self, higher mind. Some people say God, source. And I put receptive because she's feminine, female, and that's receptive. Two, the number two means duality, opposites. Now, no, the men I did not know in the dream. So they would be unknown subconscious aspects because people in a dream represent, say, aspects of self. So punched was an aggressive action, apologized to make amends, reconciliation. Then there was the man and two ladies, and I didn't know them. They were unknown, conscious and subconscious. Medicine would be a tool for healing. School of Metaphysics would be a place in mind for higher learning. Concentration exercises, tools for working with the mind. Talked, if somebody's talking, that means they're thinking. Now, Mrs. Kugel is a friend of my mom's, a family friend I've known most of my life. And when we know people in dreams, we always ask what quality or two would they represent to you, whatever comes to your mind first. And Mrs. Kugel, we all have many qualities about ourselves, but Mrs. Kugel
Have we lost Stella? Are you guys all there? I think, oh, there you
Oh,
are.
there I
Okay,
am.
there you go again. That's
I
okay.
jumped off.
That's all right. You were in the middle of a really deep thought, so I'll let you continue.
I don't know if you caught that. I said I was going to stop sharing. I don't, did every,
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. We
okay, we're
can
good.
see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay, well, the dream, I was just saying with the dream, how I looked at this dream and my day before, the man and the two ladies were trying to get me to take medicine. And I said, well, I practice concentration exercise. I don't need that medicine. I saw the day before, I was having a conversation in my waking life with my mom, and she was telling me about a friend of mine who I've known most of my life that called her, was asking her questions about taxes and some property concerns. And this friend, I always used to kind of compare myself to. I never felt really as confident around her. So when my mom was talking about this friend to me, I saw my thoughts kind of start to get negative. I started to go down that old pathway. But I wanted to stay focused on the conversation and I wanted to be in the present moment. So I took my attention away from that old thoughts of comparison and less than, and I brought it back to the present. And I was able to be present with the conversation with my mom because I knew I was leaving the next day as well to go to this meeting, this General Assembly meeting, and give this talk. So I also knew well, this is true at any time. I really wanted to not give any space to being negative or feeling sad. That would really take me down a hole, or say a rabbit hole that I didn't want to go down. So when I had this dream, I saw how this dream showed me that I was practicing concentration exercises, what I've learned in the school of metaphysics, different spiritual exercises that help me to stay in the present, stay centered, and to be there, to be present with my loved ones. And it helped me change. It helps me to be who I want to be at any moment. So I was really encouraged by this dream. And Miss Kugel was one aspect of me. When she appeared in my dream, there's qualities Mrs. Kugel has that I endeavor to embody. And I do embody. So dreams can give us, it was very comforting to know what I did the day before. I could see specifically the two men that were fighting. That would represent parts of myself that were in conflict. Like, should I do this? Should I do that? Maybe being indecisive, maybe questioning my value. And then I went to a solution. So the dream gave me confidence that I do know what I'm doing. I do know how to express my value and to connect with people at the highest level. So that's what dreams can tell us. They can also tell us about the future. And there's also been many inventions in dreams people have received. This Beatles song, Let It Be, came from a dream. The periodic table of elements, I think one particular element was received through a dream. Harriet Tubman, who brought many slaves to freedom, she got guidance from her dreams. And it's like when we say ignore our dreams or we're just not open to that, it's like having an unopened letter. And I remember when I used to get letters, I love letters, love letters from a relationship or get a letter in the mail. I'm going back a bit, but I would always get so excited. And a dream is like that. When we write it down, it's a letter from our soul and it wants to have a relationship with us. So that's where, and that's why dreams have been foundational in my journey, in my changes that I've made in my life. And subsequently, with the boyfriend, when I started studying and learning more about myself at the school, I was able to leave the relationship peacefully. We parted peacefully, and I was able to find the good in it and, yeah, find the growth in it. And yeah, and be more in the present instead of just regretting, like, why did that happen? Or why did I spend this time with him that I did? And that's been a gift that dreams and my studies have brought me to. And I could say many more things about the school. It's helped me to have more time in my day. It's helped me to be more relaxed, and it's given me a lot more confidence to connect with people and to share myself truly for who I am and not be embarrassed about what I've done. I used to spend a lot of time lamenting over the past, and not just this relationship, other relationships. The things I've learned in practice through my studies, especially that first series of lessons, have helped me to just make peace with myself and make more peace with others. And I say, a former student, she used to say to be a better human. I'm a better human. So I want to be the best human I can be. So yeah, there's more, there's always more, but I'm going to kind of conclude with that. And I want to share with all of you, I'm going to share this and some upcoming events. And I know I put my contact information in the chat. Maybe I can also email it to Jennifer, but I will just going to share about a couple things we do at the School of Metaphysics. Yeah, just some upcoming events. We have, well, every Monday, well, the first thing, current events, Mastery of Consciousness course, 13 weeks to a new year. It's called our first series of lessons, first cycle. And it's really week by week, but we always encourage people to stay at least 13 weeks. Those are the foundational skills. Learn the skills to strengthen your will, experience how to quiet your mind for success, experience the benefits of meditation, and learn how to interpret and apply your dreams for wisdom and growth in your daily life. We have some new classes that'll start Monday, December 1st at 7:30 and Wednesday, December 3rd at 7:30. And every Monday at our branch here, on Hillside Avenue in Glendale, I could put the address. We have a free meditation from 6 to 7. So it's a space for quiet meditation, and anybody can ask questions and talk about our books or anything they want about metaphysics. And then every morning, and this is something I do every morning, at peacedome.org, that's free. The group of us read what's called the Universal Peace Covenant. And this was created by students and teachers in the School of Metaphysics in the late 90s. And during COVID, when obviously everything was shut down, a couple of students started reading it online. So it takes about 10 or 15 minutes to read this, and it's just a good way to start my day. So it's like a morning ritual routine I do with a group of people, saying peace to myself and the world. And every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m., this is on Zoom. This is free, dreamschool.org. We interpret dreams for the public. We've been doing this for about 10, 12 years. It's an hour, and you can always just come on and watch. And there are different teachers and students interpret dreams. And services offered. This is another service we do, and I can talk more about it to those who are interested. We have intuitive reports, past life profiles, health analysis, past life crossings, $120, Ash Prance, director for details. And I realized I can send this to Jennifer, maybe she could send it out. And I also realized as I was doing that, I wanted to leave space now for anyone who has any questions. I was actually going to do the questions and then do that, but I'm glad I shared it when I did. So if anybody has any questions about dreams or anything about the school or wants to share a dream, I'd be happy to answer.
I'm going to jump in real quick, if you don't mind, just real quick. So what is the definition of metaphysics? What is is there a definition that, you know what I'm saying? I was actually, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think meta is mind.
Okay.
Oh, and physical, well, physical is beyond. Basically, the simplest way to say it is with applied metaphysics. We say applied metaphysics as well.
Okay.
Just what is beyond the physical? We study what is beyond the physical and how we can apply it in our daily lives. Intuition, meditation,
Okay.
dreams. Actually, meta means beyond. I think that's it. Beyond. Yeah, it means beyond. What is beyond? So some people say, oh, maybe it's woo-woo. But the the simplest way I found like intuition. Maybe we have like a funny feeling or something's not right with that person or this business doesn't seem quite right or something's not. That's metaphysics. Their
Okay.
intuition is one aspect. Dreams, meditation. It's a broad term, but the
Yeah.
simplest is a study of what's beyond the physical. Not just physics is like the study of the physical, how physical things interact. So what's beyond and how it interacts with the physical.
And what you said a while ago, Stella, you you were talking about quieting your mind and being present, and that's exactly what it's all about, right? Is getting and living
Mhm.
in that moment, living in the right. I mean, that's what.
Yes, that's more, well, I say quote practical, like with concentration exercises.
Yes.
If in person practices a concentration, and we teach in the first series, it's called a candle concentration exercise. And it's actually centuries old. It's not just to the school of metaphysics, but you can do it with a point on the wall or um, yeah, a dot on a piece of paper. It's putting all your focus on one point, and when you notice your thoughts, you just bring your attention back to that point. And what that does when we quiet our mind, we still have thoughts, but when we slow down the thoughts, they're not as chaotic. We are able to have more time in our day. We're able to have less stress. Our health improves. Our relationships improve. And that is actually how I was able to peacefully leave the relationship with Brian because I started to look at my part in the situation. Obviously, I couldn't control him or what he did, and he had his own choices. But I started to look at myself. Well, why was I attracted to someone who was really not capable of being present in a relationship? And then I started looking at my thoughts about it and how I thought about myself. And when I started to observe my thoughts, I started to say, well, I don't think really highly of myself all the time. And so I started to make some changes. And so concentration enables a person to be able to identify thoughts that are negative or maybe they don't want to think and choose something else because we can choose something else.
I love. I hate it when people say, I love that. I love that. But I love that. Thank you, Stella. That was great.
You're welcome.
I do have some other questions, but I want to make sure other people get a chance because, yeah. So who's out there who's got any questions? These are, we got her. We got her for a little bit. She's here to analyze your dreams. Anybody want a dream analyzed? I'm just going to say really quick, maybe it'll make somebody else feel better if they have a crazy dream. But these dreams that you have, can I just say it, Stella? I still have dreams. I won't tell you how many years it's been since I was in school. Margaret, you might not because but just students, I still have these dreams that I forgot to, or well, what about the idea that I didn't get to class and now I've got to take the final? Or, you know what I mean? Or,
That's a common dream, actually. Didn't get to
okay,
class. That's a very common dream. What that means, there's a lesson. There's a lesson that you may have overlooked or missed the opportunity to learn whatever that lesson was. So whatever around the time of your dream, what was going on in your life.
okay.
Could have
So,
been anything, but that's why we encourage anybody, whether you're a student or not, to keep a dream journal.
okay,
And it's always helpful to write down a few notes on the right-hand side, just jotting down what you did the day before. So you could look back and say, oh, okay, it was that conversation, or maybe that was that argument, or oh, that's what that's from.
Yeah, I think it's really, I mean, guys, you can all chime in anytime you want to say anything because that makes me feel a little better. It's like, until you
Yeah,
started
that's
saying
common.
that, yeah, but, well, and just the idea that I'm thinking, what did I miss, 30 years ago when I was in, what did I not do? What was I, but now you're making me think, oh, it's not related to that. It's related to something that's happening now, more than likely, right?
Well, if you were
Or
having the dream
yesterday.
now, if you were
Yeah.
having that, yeah.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
also, if something's reoccurring, like people will have reoccurring dreams, that's also a lesson or something that our subconscious, our inner self is trying to get our attention, to pay attention to.
I think that's really cute. That's cool. I mean, it's really neat. I think that was the only thing. There might be some embarrassing dreams I probably don't want to share with you, but there's probably a good reason now.
And I
Um,
think too, something with dreams that I've found really helpful too, and when sharing with people, like some people might have a dream, or my spouse is cheating on me, or somebody's stealing something from me. So it's not literally about that person. Every person, place, or thing in a dream, it represents a part of ourselves. So a spouse cheating on, like if I'm single, but if I was married, my spouse cheating on me would represent a part of myself that I'm committed to, that there's something that maybe I'm wavering on my commitment to myself. Maybe it's a habit, or maybe it's some of my routines, or I'm not as committed in some areas as I thought it would be.
Very
So I
cool.
think that's really empowering. That's what I've discovered about dreams, because I've heard, like, one gentleman I was actually talking to about, I don't think he quite received it, but he said he was afraid to hold a baby because he had a dream where he was holding a baby and he dropped it.
Oh,
And a baby in a dream language symbology means a new idea. So he just let go of a new idea he was formulating. And I was trying to explain it to him. I think he may have got it, but it just gives you freedom. So he doesn't have to be afraid to hold a baby.
I think that's, what did you say? That's very empowering to
Yeah.
know that some of these things, because I've had some. Oh, I'm not going to tell you all my dreams, but I want other people to say some of their stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely. Do you guys have dreams? You don't dream, do you? None of you. You're looking at me blankly. Anybody? Anybody? Um, I think there was. Oh, I know. One thing I would like to share about Stella. She has been attending our Monday morning group, and we call it Motivation Monday. It's a variety of things, but Stella has brought some really cool ideas to our group. And I think, and you don't have to go into all the details, Stella. I don't want you to feel like I'm bringing out a bunch of things, but the universal laws, right? You talked
Yes.
about one,
Mhm.
and are there 10? No, there's some.
Well, restudy what I've learned. I think there are probably more, but regardless of someone's faith or no faith, there's universal laws that govern the universe. And what I talked about on Monday morning, there's a universal law called the law of proper perspective.
Okay.
And I can share. I'd be happy to share this here
Yeah,
since I
please,
have
please. Yeah.
in the first couple lessons in the School of Metaphysics we teach, it's called the 10 Most Wanted list. And actually, my teacher friend Ken can feel free to jump in.
Ken, we're glad you're here.
And he actually helped me with my list the other day. So I
Well,
want to
it's
give a
good to
shout
be
out to
here.
him.
There he is. Almost. Where is he?
Ken, are you with us?
Oh, I'm right here. I've been muted so that any noise in the background doesn't affect the presentation.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to go over the 10 most wanted list the way we've learned it. You make a list of 10 things, and number one on the list is what you want most. Can be physical things, can be emotional things, can be anything you want. You make it from the most desirable item at number one, then two, three, four, and so on. and it's called a 10 Most Wanted list. And this list, we encourage people to read it out loud at least once a day, preferably twice. And when you read it, you visualize what you want on the list, each item. And this exercise helps individuals, whoever's doing it, align with a universal law called the law of proper perspective. That's one universal law. When we align with it, we put our attention and energies on what's most important, and then things that aren't quite as important, maybe we put a little attention on it, but not quite as much. And it's actually one of the universal laws a lot of us busy people say struggle with, including myself. And Ken so graciously helped me actually the other night, yesterday, with it, with my list, my current list, and gave me some great ideas because there were some things that I had on the list and how it was worded really wasn't what I wanted to have my attention on. So we encourage students or whoever is doing this to revise the list every 2 weeks because during that time, something may change. You may actually create an item on the list and then you want to put something else on. Or something you had at number 1, you realize, well, maybe that could go at number 6 or 7. And this is something that can be used every day of one's life. And it's helped me create things and it's helped me organize my mind and my time and where to put my energies. And so that's harmonizing with the universal law of proper perspective. And there's universal laws. There's universal law of prosperity and abundance, which is another one of my favorite. They're all my favorite, but law of prosperity, when we're harmonizing, when we're aligning with it, we have positive thoughts about ourselves and the world. We're encouraging. When we're out of alignment, maybe we're complaining a lot, we're negative. We all know people like that. And it's natural for some people to complain. It's almost like part of the talk in some circles. Unfortunately, they don't know, or maybe they do know that when they're doing that, they're actually bringing more negativity to themselves and blocking their prosperity.
Yeah.
Even innocently talking about, regular, and I see myself in this. I catch myself. This is why it's a daily practice, like even in, say, quote, normal conversation. So when we're more people in our world that are more successful financially, better relationships, or healthy, not better, but more harmonious relationships, more calm, more at peace, they're aligning with universal laws. They may not be aware of them, but they're more in alignment. And this is something we teach at the school through the studies and through the practices. And law of proper perspective with that 10 most wanted list, it helps align with that.
Yeah,
And
go
there
ahead.
may be
Go
a
ahead.
lot of things that we want on the list. There's many things I like on the list, but as Ken, so helped me yesterday, showed me that maybe you could put this up at number 3, or maybe that's some more of an activity. I had some things on my list that looked more like a to-do list than something maybe I wanted to create. So yeah, it's been very enlightening.
Well, you're sharing it with our group, and I know Amanda's on here. I don't know, Mimi's not been on, but they're on here now, but they haven't been at that morning thing. And I know you and I were talking about it, and then I asked you to share it, and you just willingly started sharing it. And now everybody, we're going to do it every 2 weeks, I think. But
Yeah.
it makes sense. And I think everybody, it was really neat. What's today? Thursday, I can't believe it. Monday morning, though, you were doing that. We were talking about it, and I thought everybody was sitting there quietly, just kind of like bored, or you weren't boring. You know what I'm saying? No,
Right.
intently writing. And I was like, that's exactly what that whole thing was, and I was like, they're really doing this. Now, you had talked about it about 2 weeks ago. And that's why we thought it would be good to revisit it, but we had more time on Monday and we were able to,
Right.
as you were hearing people's list of things, boy, there were things on there that were I know you were saying before we started tonight, you were sharing your story, you were a little bit, the vulnerability stuff, being, I think that was amazing in that, because people were sharing things that I'm like, and it's basic. We do have one or two men that attend Monday morning, but it was things that I wouldn't know if I'd want to share with anybody else. It was something. It wasn't R-rated or anything. It was just like, this is kind of a personal thing. Journeys with weight loss or whatever. And I'm like, wow, it was very good. You did a great job. You're doing a great job. So thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody else has a dream. That was part of anybody got a dream? Margaret? Oh, Amanda.
I do.
Okay.
Sometimes during periods of high stress, I will dream that I'm back in high school and that I'm running late for class and I can't get my stinking locker open. I cannot get it open to save my life.
Yeah, that's when you said during times of stress, that's the key. Because if we're back in high school, they're saying we're back at an earlier state of at that time period, like adolescence, kind of that, not necessarily in our age now, like that thinking, like during that time, adolescence, how I say hormones are raging and the adolescent, we're trying new things, we're experimenting. And say running late, you're trying to get your locker open and you can't get it open.
Nope. You can't get the combination right to open it.
A locker is where we store our valuables, usually our books or, especially a school locker. I remember books or women purses or valuables. So say you couldn't get to something that was important to you, like maybe if you were having times of stress, maybe you could look at what you were doing the day or two before with that. Maybe there was some things you felt you wanted to get done and didn't get done or couldn't get to that were important. I know when I feel like stressed or say overwhelmed, that's been a word I've used a lot, overwhelmed. Yeah, like I can't always think clearly when I'm stressed or running around or agitated about something. So I'd say, yeah, if that were something I was dreaming, maybe too, I notice when I feel stressed, I can revert back to an earlier way of interacting. Like now, maybe I would interact differently if I'm in a calm state of mind versus if I'm stressed or worried, then I might react like I did when I was a teenager or when I was at an earlier time. So, and then you weren't able to get in your locker. So I would say if this were my dream, just doing best to slow down. And there's always a message in a dream, slow down and doing some self-care. I know that sounds easier said than done when we're stressed and something's going on, but taking time for yourself, for sure. Yeah, so then you can get to what is valuable. Because if you couldn't get your locker, you can there's things of value in the locker, and we store things in the locker.
Hey, I don't know about you guys, but this is very comforting to
Yeah.
know that it's not
It
me
is.
being totally crazy, I mean, or anybody else got anything? Any questions? Any dreams?
That dream about not being able to get in your locker reminded me that I've had that same dream quite a few times. And I just, until it was brought up, I forgot that I've had it over the years. You're trying to get in your locker, I forget the combination. It's frustrating. And I keep trying. Sometimes I get in, sometimes I don't. And the one about the class that you mentioned, yeah, I've had that one too. Too many times. Same dream.
That
It's a
definitely
common dream now.
it makes me feel a lot better. can I ask you both? I know Stella, I mean, glad to meet you. Do you ever have somebody tell you about their dreams and it's actually something that's fairly, I mean, I don't know. I said it was comforting. Has there ever been a dream that you've heard about that you're like, they really they need something? I mean, I'm not trying to be weird, but maybe there's like there was a lady that said she was a numerologist, which you guys do talk about numbers a little on Mondays, I know, but I'm just wondering, have you ever had something you're interpreting and it's like, oh my goodness, this is something they really need to address now? Is there?
Yeah, there's been well, actually, all dreams do that, but I see what you're asking, something that maybe.
Well, the numerologist, real quick, she was saying, she looks at the numbers, and I know you know about numerology, so I don't. But I said, do you ever see somebody's numbers and it tells you that there's something really horrible that's going to happen? And she goes, I never would lead anybody down that. She'd always try to give them ways to deal
Well,
with
yeah.
it, you know what I mean? Even if it came up with like, she's going down this horrible path of whatever. Go ahead. I'm
Well,
sorry.
we always have choice.
That's true.
We
That's
always
right.
have choice. So dreams dreams tell us truth. I mean, they won't tell us what to do, but they do tell us truth. So, well, that would
Right.
be like a nightmare. I would say
Yes.
nightmare, when people have nightmares, that means the thoughts are out of control. So I would say if they're having nightmares, I would say the first thing that is to kind of calm themselves during the day. Because if they're having nightmares, there's stuff going on in their life on some level. So yeah, I would just ask them to evaluate their life, and they could change. They have a choice. And that's the beauty about dreams. They may bring something up, but we can change. So there's ways to say that I'm trying to think because I attend the dream webinar pretty regularly. I've been doing that past couple years, and I've heard different dreams. And I think people tend to be pretty receptive, even when they've had kind of some nightmare
Yeah.
dreams. But they always
I have
have
a,
a choice that they can choose.
I have a question. When I was a
Yes.
child, I slept walk a lot. Is there, can you interpret that anyway? I used to sleepwalk a lot as a child, like especially if we were busy and I was super tired, I would sleepwalk. I would let myself out of the house. I
Oh
mean,
my goodness.
I'd get hamburger or hot dog buns out of the refrigerator and come give it to my mom in bed. She'd be like, "What are you doing?" I would do oddball. I mean, totally off the wall stuff in my sleep.
Yeah, actually,
I hope
well,
I
I
don't do it
don't.
now.
You don't do it now?
There's nobody here to tell me if I do it or not.
Oh.
The animals can't tell me.
Actually, it's interesting you bring that up there. I never actually mentioned it, not last night, the night before, someone was talking about that. They're talking about, well, usually when we're doing that, sleepwalking, we're actually acting out our dream. We're acting out parts of our dream. However, what happens now, I want to say you generally maybe a more light sleeper.
Yeah, I definitely am a light sleeper.
Okay, because that could be why you sleepwalk. I have to get some more information about
I
that.
hope I don't do it now.
Yeah, well, there's something called, and I don't know if any of you have heard, it's called sleep paralysis, where like this was what was brought up on the dream webinar, that someone had kind of woken up and they couldn't move. But that's more of a natural thing. It happens so we don't act out our dream. Like if
Mhm.
somebody's chasing us, so we don't just get up and run out in the street. And so That's why I thought maybe with the light sleeping, maybe you didn't have that happen. And actually, I don't know a whole lot about sleepwalking. Beyond that, I know if you're sleeping lighter, then a tendency to maybe not enter that state where you would not be acting out the dream. So, you know what, I need to find out some more information about that. But I know it's
My
generally if
parents
you're
had
a
to
lighter
put
sleeper. If what?
they
I'm
put
sorry.
they put chains on the doors and put installed bolt locks and would hide the keys because if I knew where the key
Oh,
was at, that I would let myself out.
oh wow.
I'm an
I think
Yeah.
oddball.
You
good.
know what? And yeah, I would have to get back with you on the answer about the sleepwalking because I know there was something else that they said um, when we were talking about that 2 weeks ago, and I can't remember that. But I know it's if you're a lighter sleeper, though, I do know that then a tendency to okay, so you're not maybe okay, this is another thing. I remember this. You're not entering that deeper sleep, that REM or REM
Mhm.
sleep. So. That would contribute to that. Now, why some people and not others, I am not sure, but I can find out for you.
And that's exactly the answer we would expect you to say there, Stella Lynn Boggio.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. I don't want to chase everybody away, but I mean it's almost 8 o'clock. But I know Stella, are you willing? If anybody's got any other, because
sure. I can stay a few more
yeah,
minutes.
I mean
Yeah,
I can.
sure.
We're on. We're able. But Margaret, thank you for being here. Oh,
Thank
she's
you
got
for being here,
another
Margaret.
Zoom. Thanks for being on.
I have to start another meeting.
She's just a busy lady.
Yeah,
Good to see you, Margaret. Have a good meeting.
Yeah,
good to
thank you
be
for
here.
coming.
Look forward to hearing more. Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
thank you, Margaret.
Thank
Um, yeah, I was just thinking, poor Amanda, that her parents had to put chains on
Right.
things. That's crazy. But wow.
Actually, too, I know that, well, I can always Google sleepwalking, but yeah, when you're a lighter sleeper, but yeah, that would be, let's see, I can see parents being apprehensive, with them like, what are we gonna do?
Well, I
Yeah.
had a cousin. It must run in the family because I had a cousin who would do the same thing. It was a boy though, so
Hmm.
he would do the
Yeah.
same thing. So I'm not sure if it's like hereditary or stress
Hmm.
induced. I don't know.
I'm Googling. I'm asking the great God Google and AI.
It,
But
it seems like a lot
genetics,
of the it seems like a lot of the dreams people have are, and I've had them too, are of school. Why is that?
school represents in a dream. That's a place of mind where you're learning for learning. So like people, like I've had those dreams too, like the college I went to before, or a current college, or an elementary school. It represents a place in mind, well, for learning, for where you learn, and also, like, say, with elementary school, like if I dreamed about my elementary school, that would be like an earlier part of my life. That would be a place of learning earlier in my life. Like maybe when I was, younger certainly, but how I was approaching, this is more clear, how I was approaching my day and what I was going through was something from an earlier part of my life when I learned something I learned in an earlier part of my life, or how I would react at that time of my life,
Hmm.
elementary age or middle school age or like adolescent, high school. Actually, there's one of what's the ch Dr. Daniel Condren is serving as chancellor of the School of Metaphysics now, and he's written several books. One book he wrote, it's called The Four Stages of Growth. And we can be at those stages in anything. Like, for example, digress too much, but it applies to the elementary school. There's four stages of growth. There's infancy, infancy, adolescence, adulthood, and wisdom. And we could be at any stage in any situation. For example, you start a new job or you have a new client. That's infancy. It's new, and there's certain characteristics with each stage. Your infancy, you're excited, you're learning, you're open. Like adolescence, you start questioning things, experimenting. So with dreams, when you have schools, especially like college, that'd be a place I would say for higher learning. That'd be more adulthood stage. Excuse me, adulthood or wisdom stage. So it's interesting that we can be at any stage in a relationship too. If I start a new relationship or whatever kind, that's infancy. Then you move into the different stages. So that's what schools represent, different
Okay,
stages of our learning.
Oh,
thank you.
I get you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're dreaming about college, it might mean one thing. If you're dreaming about elementary school, I'm just
Yeah.
being, okay, that's interesting too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a whole language. The universal language of mind. There's also an organization. I haven't been too involved, but some of the teachers that have been through the School of Metaphysics have been involved. It's called the Association for, it's the International Association for the Study of Dreams.
Okay.
And they're scientists and people from all walks of life that study dreams as well. Some of the teachers from the School of Metaphysics have presented there over the years, and they meet at different locations. And I haven't had the privilege yet of attending one of those, but they also, investigate dreams. It's kind of similar to what we study too. So dreams have been an important part of many cultures too, like native cultures and tribal cultures.
What does it mean if you can't figure out if you dreamt something or it really happened? That may not be in this, you know what I mean? Is it like you need to get more sleep?
Oh, you mean if you,
I'll say to Philip, I'll say something like, I don't know if I dreamed that or it really happened. I mean, I'm
oh,
almost kind
okay.
of
You're
on
not
the,
alone. That happens to me too.
yeah, well, that's what I'm wondering. Now that we got a couple of us. But what is there? Is there something we should learn from that still?
I think, well, if you can't remember, like if it's dream or I would say thinking too fast or moving too fast through the day. Just
That's probably a very good observation. I
yeah.
do know that Amanda's very busy all the time. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there's some days I don't know yeah. So I think that's right. So there's nothing, it's not, it's, okay, good. I'm not totally losing my mind. Just take.
Well, that was a good question because I last winter had one of those dreams like you're talking about. And it took me the entire day to realize that it was actually a dream because for most of the day, I thought it had really happened the day before. And I was
Oh,
looking for something that happened in my dream, and I thought it really happened. And I've never had a dream that real where I woke up thinking that my dream was actually reality. It was
wow.
a strange experience.
I guess that is very,
In fact, I kept questioning myself during the day. Was that a dream or did I
wow.
really do it? Then I figured out it had to be a dream. That it was a dream.
Wow.
So that's one I'll never forget.
I feel much better now. I'm not totally losing my mind.
You're
Everybody's
not
going,
alone, no.
everybody's going bonkers to get, I'm
Yeah.
joking. It's fine. Um, anybody else have, I mean, we've got her and we've got Ken here too. This is like a double bonus here. We're very happy that I think there's probably, if you get people on a call like this, there's probably all kinds of things, and there'd be things as we're talking that people would realize or they would bring up. You've got me thinking about things now a little differently. And do you, okay, I'm just going to ask, and then if anybody else will let everybody go, it's more than I thought we were going to get, Stella. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The idea of keeping a dream journal, you said you do that, and you wake up in the morning and you write, right? Is that kind of the
Yeah,
best?
well, yeah, I can tell you, give you all this too, a way that we teach students how to best use that. So
Okay.
what you do, you can get any notebook, journal, whatever fits you. On the left side of the journal, you write tomorrow's date. So
Okay.
tomorrow would be the 14th. And then you would write a simple statement, tonight I'll remember my dreams,
Oh,
or
okay.
something similar like that. So when you do that, like people say, I never remember dreams, or just remember a little bit. If you start doing that simple thing, then when you write that down and you close it and go to sleep, and you wake up in the morning, you'll start remembering more dreams as you do that.
Okay.
And then you can also jot down, as I mentioned earlier, you can jot down on the right-hand side a few notes about your day, stuff that stands out or what you did. So when you have that dream, you can say, oh, okay, I can relate it to this during the day. And, so I don't always do that. Sometimes I'm like, oh, shoot. I was like one time, today I was looking at a dream I had about a week ago. I'm like, what did I do that day? So I can really see the benefit of doing that because, well, it is beneficial because then if you have a dream that's more detailed, then you can really pinpoint, okay, that's what happened. So,
Well, you answered the question because I was the more you focus on it, the better you get at it, right? You start,
yeah,
and I mean, I don't know if
definitely.
that's the right words, but it makes sense. If
Oh, yeah. We say like what you put your attention on grows. And so just even doing that, it's like, oh, well, this really work. It does. Just doing that, even it can work. It usually starts working right away. And we always suggest, even if you remember just one or two things, write it down because everything's significant in a dream.
you've opened my eyes a lot. Thank you very, very much.
You
I
are
think
welcome.
we should have another we should have Stella Lynn Boggio present again. Come and join us again. But I mean, I know we can't, we don't want to take too much advantage of you, but we are happy that you
Well, I'm happy to share.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really cool though. It's very cool. Thank you. You had
Welcome.
the one flyer that had all your events, right?
Mhm.
Can
Yeah.
you do email that to me or whatever? And I guess, right? You could do that,
Yeah, I
or
can email that to you and just, yeah,
okay,
you can share them.
because there's some of those events that are I don't know if they're all free. I know there was one thing that had some money attached, or there was a program, right? But you have the
Well, yeah,
meditations.
our Mastery of Consciousness class is very affordable. It's I didn't have the main class, it's $20 a week plus
Oh,
books.
okay,
Like
okay,
books maybe $5 or $15, and we have a lending library too.
okay,
So
very
it's week
cool.
by week. So our dream webinar each week is free, and reading the Peace Covenant in the morning is free. Intuitive reports, that can be another discussion, but those are $120. And
Cool.
we do those at our headquarters. We're planning an intuitive reports event at our school, and I'll be announcing that. We're in the planning creation stage of that.
Very cool.
And kind of unique to the School of Metaphysics, and we've been doing those for like 50 years. So,
Wow. Wow. Okay. I would
so
just encourage you, if you didn't, didn't think of anything tonight, Stella's contact information is in the chat. I will send it out. Make sure that you've got that, and reach out to Stella. And Ken, thank you for being on. Mimi, Amanda, Kathy, and Philip. What I usually do is I am going to send this out to everybody that registered, Stella. So you kind of know that. And then we do post it on our social media, but we post it on our website, and I'll attach it to the blog which I don't have all the terminology, but basically I put it in the blog and I think it goes out the next morning to everybody on our contact list. So whether they
Okay,
want to read
wonderful.
it or not, but you never know. But
You
I
never
do,
know. Yeah.
yeah, right. And I do think I say that they get things from me. It was not a reflection on your subject matter at all. It was just that I send stuff out, and that's probably one of the scariest things. I don't know if it's scary, but it's like, you get a little nervous, like somebody going to come back. But that's what I got a contact list for, right? So I'd like to do that, and you never know who's going to, and I'll put your contact information in there. But I just thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
And we will talk more.
Glad to
and
be
maybe
here.
We'll get you scheduled again to do one. If you don't mind, we'll figure that out. And
Sure.
but the 10 most wanted, we are doing Monday mornings in our Monday morning motivation group. Whether Stella planned on it or not, I don't even know that one day I said, let's do this. Or I said, can you tell us about it? So now everybody's doing it. So we thank you very much for that. And I wish everybody a wonderful evening, holiday season. I am actually going to turn the recording off